Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Into Bait Fishing. And today we're doing another episode of How To. And today we're going to be going over suspending twitch baits. These are one of my favorite baits to throw when it's cold. They work slow, they work down to depth, the depth of your choice depending on where you are. And man, they're money, they really are. In the winter, I don't know if there's a better bait, just the ability to change the way you work it, change the action, change the speed. It's amazing. And in East Matagorda Bay, which is where we are today, everyone throws the Fat Boy Corky. Hey, it kills, man. I mean, I've caught a bunch of fish on it this year already. A lot of my buddies have been fishing nothing but this anymore. So, and I get messages all the time on how do you work these and how do you throw them, what do you do? So that's what we're doing today. Today we're going to be throwing over my 3 favorite suspending twitch baits. The first, of course, being that Fat Boy Corky. The second one, we're going to be throwing the MR17 and the MR17 Mirrodine by Mirrodine. And that third one, we'll be throwing the lip bait. Right? I like a lip bait just because the diversity of being able to change my directions, my slashing, my twitching. It's just a little bit different than the other two. We'll keep it as short as we can. I'll try to go over a couple minutes over each one, and that's about it. We'll see if we can catch some fish on it too. We're out here in front of a drain. High tide's just getting ready to come in, so fish will be coming off the flat and moving back into the marsh as it warms up. So it's a really, really cold day, so we'll see what happens. As always, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, tell me what you'd like to see, and enjoy. All right, guys. The first one we're gonna throw is that Fat Boy. Just tell you a little about what we're working with here. Obviously this is the black and chartreuse Fat Boy. Now, picking a color on what color you want to throw, again, water is going to dictate, right? So we have some off-color water today. It's a little bit darker, so I'm going to use the darker bait. Throw a little bit of chartreuse in there for some contrast, and makes it a little easier for those shadows, for those fish to pick up those shadows. I have all my suspending twitch baits today will be tied to a perfection loop knot on fluorocarbon. Now the water doesn't say, oh, you have to have fluorocarbon. I use fluorocarbon so I can tie that loop knot. Also, I use on like a little bit heavier fluorocarbon on these bigger baits like the Fat Boy. This is a 30-pound fluorocarbon, just for the stiffness. A lot of times when you throw these bigger baits, top waters, things like that, you know, it'll catch over and it'll catch on the treble hook. Man, that's super frustrating. I'm sure y'all have all ran into that issue before, but the stiffer fluorocarbon, when it's flying through the air, can help it keep it a little straighter. Just something I do. I tie that fluorocarbon with a double uni to 20-pound braid. The rod I'm throwing today is a 7-foot rod. It's a medium action, a little bit faster tip, just to help that action underwater. Now, I got it thrown with my Corrado. So, how do you work a Fat Boy? Everyone asks the question. I think, heck, I ask that question all the time to people who are better than this than me, and I think you generally always get the same answer. Work it slow, leave it in the strike zone, and think of it as a top water underwater, right? All right, simple enough, I guess. That's, you know, all right. Well, what does that actually mean? Well, to me, I like to keep things simple because I don't want to be confused. I don't want to be thinking, oh, am I doing it the right way? Am I doing it this way? Am I doing it that way? What am I doing wrong? Why am I not catching fish? I just keep it simple. I keep it methodical, and I'll stay on track of what I'm trying to do. So we'll throw it out here real quick. Let's So, and you know, great thing about these fat boys, they throw pretty far. But first thing I do is I let it sink down, right? I'm sitting in about 2 feet of water. I'm just sitting in a drain right in front of this marsh, right? So that, and it's drained every second or so, it's going down 4 or 5 inches, right? And then I just pop it off the bottom, right? As soon as I think it's on the bottom, I pop it off, right? Give it a double twitch, boom, boom, and it comes up. Then I let it settle back down. Boom, boom, comes up, let it settle back down. Boom, 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 come up, let it settle down. So the idea that I want it to do is doing a left, right, right? I want it to basically walk the dog underwater, right? Now, sometimes it will, sometimes it won't, but basically I want it darting and then coming to a rest and then shimmering back down to the bottom, right? Then boom, that's it. That's where I like to stay. I like to keep it simple, keep it easy, and usually you're going to be a little bit more effective. If you're trying to do some crazy retrieves, you know, I'm not saying you won't be successful, because you still can be, because sometimes when those fish are on, those fish are on. But if it's cold morning like today, those fish are not going to want to waste the energy to chase after something as, you know, that's going crazy. What we want is to be methodical. I want to leave that bait in the strike zone for as long as possible. All right, just because if they're not hungry, that doesn't mean they won't eat. Sometimes you get that reactionary strike where it's, all right, I left something in front of their face for so long, they just couldn't say no. Think about it as if someone put ice cream in front of me, even if I didn't want ice cream, sooner or later, I'm just like, all right, whatever, I'm gonna take a bite. Think of it the same way. If I leave this bait in front of their face for just a little bit longer, they may say, screw it, yep, I'm in, let's go, right? And that's what suspending twitch baits do. They sit in the middle of the water column and they just sit there, right? They give it a little twitch and where they'll dart left to right or whatever, and then they have a little pause where it's like, oh man, it's a dead or dying fish and it just died. Oh, yep, I'm in, let's go. So again, real simple, right? Throw it out there, give it a couple seconds, and then boom, boom, right? Let it sit, do it again, boom, 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 hit it 3 times, right? So underneath the water, it's again darting left, right, and then it's coming to a pause, boom, boom, doing it again, boom, 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 right? Boom, boom, simple and easy. We don't have to overcomplicate things. Sometimes that just messes us up. Boom, boom, boom. There it is, right? That is that fat boy. That's how you work it. Now, you know, depending on the water depth, will depend on how long you let it sit before it goes down. Again, it's going about every second, you know, you're looking at 4 to 6 inches every second. So that's this fall rate. So it's falling kind of slow. But man, just take it easy, no big deal. Boom, 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 boom. Work it like a top water underwater, right? There really is no wrong way to do these things. Whatever makes you feel comfortable. This is what makes me feel a little bit more confident that that bait's doing what I want it to do. You know, all I want it to do is underwater look like a bait fish, right? A dying bait fish. That way, when a trout's coming by, they're gonna be like, yeah, I'm interested. Let's see what you got. And that's it. That's it. That's that fat boy Corky. All right, guys. This is the MR17. All right. It is my favorite suspending twitch bait. All right. I throw the 17s and the 27s a lot. They're easy to work. They're heavier. They got the nice rattle. This one's a lower pitch rattle. I really like them. They have a really great side-to-side action. The action on them is just terrific. So this is obviously the white, the 17. Its depth rate is also about 6 inches every second. So you see that it'll fall pretty fast. See, there it goes. So, but it'll get to the middle of the water column and it'll just stall out. That's where it'll hang out for a while. The rod I'm throwing, this is a 7-foot medium light. I like the lighter action just because I'm throwing the 27 or the 17 here. Just because it's a little lighter bait, so the little lighter action allows me to get it out a little farther. Again, it's tied to the Perfection loop knot, 20-pound fluorocarbon to a double uni on 20-pound braid. I'm throwing this on a 13 fishing, the Concept A. The rod and reels, you know, while the rod action truly really does matter on what we're throwing depending on the weight, the reel itself, man, it's just gonna be a personal choice. I've been trying these Concepts out just to see if I like them. I like this one, but I've heard a lot of negative reviews on them too. I haven't had too many issues with it. I like it. It throws almost as good as the Corrado. So, but anyways, I digress. So MR17. All right, I get my 17s and 27s and my Mirrodines and stuff like that from Florida. Captain C.A. Richardson makes them, his own colors and stuff. So I get a lot of them from them. I think I got this one off Amazon, but they're not too cheap. You know, this little thing costs dang near $10, but I love them, man. The action is great. So, and you can work them a ton of different ways, right? So you can work them just like the Fat Boy. You could reel them in. You could do a side-to-side action. You could pop it off the ground. You know, there's any way, you know, you choose is gonna be good. All right, so let's throw it out. Boom, let it go down. And the first retrieve we're gonna do is just a straight retrieve. Okay, so underwater, what this is doing is basically looking like a swim bait just swimming. It's just swimming along. All right, just a straight, slow retrieve. It'll stay just under the water surface. I don't know if you can see it right there. It's just under the water, and it just waggles its little tail. That's all it does. Just waggles the tail. Nice, easy. You know, I'm not doing anything. There's no action working this bait at all. It is working itself right now, waggling back and forth just under the surface. So probably, I would say 2 to 3 inches right now, just by doing a straight retrieve, and it just waggles. So that means it's just doing this. That's it. And that's just a straight retrieve. So no action. All right. Now, if I want to add to it, I'm gonna let it sink down. I'm gonna work it just like that Fat Boy. All right. Boom, boom. Let it pause. Boom, boom, boom. Let it pause. Right. Now it's darting. Now I got it darting left, right, left. Left, right, left. Right? And when I pull it back, I want you to throw, when you pop it, send your rod tip back forward, right? That allows that lure to go back and forth. You're basically throwing slack at it, right? So if you pull it back and you leave it back, all it does is pull your bait forward. But if you throw it back at it during your pop, it allows that lure to run left to right. That helps that walk the dog action that we like to do. And that's what this lure is doing. It's going left, right, left, and then it pauses. Left, right, left, pauses. Now again, a lot of your strikes are gonna come when it pauses. So make sure you're slowly cranking these lures down a little bit. Don't leave too much slack so you can feel with that tip when you get that thump. Because it can be, on a day like today, A thump could be subtle. It could be almost non-existent. Now, so that's that same fat boy action, right? But that's not it. So I can also walk the dog, or not walk the dog, just use it as a little twitcher. So reel it in, boom, boom. I'm just steadily reeling, boom, right? Boom. A steady retrieve, boom. So all this is doing is giving it a waggle, that normal waggle that it does when you're just reeling it in, and then random kicks, right? So if something's following it when it's just swimming along, that little twitch can make a predator, if it's following it, think, oh, it sees me. I'm gonna lose my opportunity to eat it, right? Just a little twitch, and it'll dart left or it'll dart right. So that's it. Just a little straight crank, and then a twitch. A twitch. Now you can do one twitch, you can do two, you know, whatever you're feeling. You know, I just like the waggle. So, and the little twitch, because these fish are gonna, I mean, they're gonna see it, you know, especially the white shows up really well in water like this, so they're gonna catch contrast off it and be like, what is that? So that's it. That's 3 retrieves. So you got your straight crank, just bringing it in. You have your slow twitch, which is boom, boom, pause. Reel it in, boom, boom, pause. Okay? Boom, boom, pause. And then your straight crank, twitch, boom. I'm cranking, boom, boom. And that's it. I think if you keep it simple again with these Mirrodines, it's gonna help you out a lot. There's 3 different retrieves for that. And man, I love this bait. I really do. I love throwing it. Ooh, that wasn't a very good throw though. Sometimes you mess it up. What are you gonna do? So, but anyways, I digress. Can't be perfect all the time. So that's the Mirrodine. This is again the MR17. Comes in at 27, comes in at 37. We're here in Texas, so we got the custom D's, so which is kind of the opposite, where it's a floating twitch bait. So a twitch down and then a float up, twitch down, float up. So, but let's move on to that third one. That third one's gonna be that lip bait. So the MR17. GoPro, stop recording. All right, so this is gonna be the last suspending twitch bait that we throw today. This particular lure is the Rapala X-Rap, right? And this, again, it is a lip bait, right? That lip just helps it dive down in the water column. So I can work specific depths with this lure. All right, again, bone's always great. So I don't want to stress this enough. Like, try not to get wrapped up in what color you're throwing. If you got dark water, throw a dark bait. If you got clear water, throw a light bait. All right, keep it simple. You'll see that that's my philosophy on almost everything. The simpler you can keep something, generally the more successful you're gonna be. So again, this is the lip bait. The action on this is I guess what they call a slashing action. It's a darting action, all right? It's gonna move left, it's gonna move right, and it's gonna be a little bit more violent, a little bit more twitch to it than those suspending twitch baits like the Mirrodines, right? Right, it's just gonna dart, and this lip is gonna help it stay down. I like it because I can adjust it, adjust the depth just by reeling down. I want to keep it at different depths. You just don't know where those fish are going to be hanging out. They could be hanging out at the top, they could be hanging out at the bottom. You just don't know. So now this one is going to float in, I don't know if you can see that, but it's going down probably about 4 inches every 6 seconds. You see it? 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. So about 4 to 5 inches every 6 seconds. So keep that in mind when you're throwing it out there. Try to know the depth of the water you're in. That's super important. Again, we're in 2 feet of water here, throwing into this drain, and just trying to work it out. So the rod, this is a 7-foot medium action. I like the little bit bigger backbone for a lip bait because you're cranking down on it a lot, putting a little bit more force again. It's a little bit bigger bait. Throwing it on the Corrado, tied to it, I have a Perfection loop knot that I will use on almost every one of my baits. These nowadays, it's just I like this knot. Tied to 20-pound fluorocarbon, again, just for the stiffness and the ability to tighten the loop knot to 20-pound braid. So now, how do we work it? Well, again, there's a couple different ways. It's basically going to be the same as that Mirrodine, just with a little bit more violent action. It also has a little bit better waggle when you're straight retrieving. So that's what we're going to do first. We'll do the straight retrieve. All right, straight retrieve, just a nice slow retrieve. Just a straight retrieve. So on these lip baits, I think it's important to remember is each lip bait has a depth of water that it's meant for. This one here, the X-Wrap, is 3 to 5 feet, depending on how fast you're working it. Now a straight retrieve is, remember, if you just straight retrieve it, it's going to want to dig. So as it digs, you'll bump the bottom. So don't be scared. If you feel like you start hitting oysters and you're like, as this is bumping, all you have to do is stop retrieving and it'll come up just a little bit. All right. So it kind of floats backwards. So keep your rod tip up on this one and just bring it in. And that waggle, I mean, it's got a really nice waggle. Right now it's running about mid water column and it's just waggling, just wagging his little tail. See if we can get a good picture of it so you can see it. I mean, it's got a great, I mean, that thing is gorgeous. That is awesome. Love the way this thing swims, free swims. If you want to throw hard plastics because that's what you didn't feel, that's what you wanted to throw that day, but you wanted it to be as close to a paddle tail as you could, this one right here, man, this thing has a wonderful waggle. And you got to play with these baits. You don't necessarily have to use the rapala. That's just what I'm using. I like the waggle on this one. That's why I'm using it. Usually I use mirror lure, almost everything mirror lure, but I prefer this one's waggle. Just do. You have to find the one that you like. So it runs back and forth. I mean, barely pulling it, and it just bump on the little tails just a going. Love it. All right. So that was that straight retrieve. And again, I love that straight retrieve. I'm not gonna lie. It's just super effective. But that's not the only thing this does. This is called a slash bait for a reason. Why? Because it has an amazing dart action. All right. So how do you do that? Well, keep it simple. Again, just like everything else, keep it simple. All right. Throw it out there. Boom. All right. Boom. Pop it once. Pop it twice. Pop it once. Pop it twice. The number of times you pop it really doesn't matter. I'm not that's not as a big a concern as some other stuff, but keep it simple. Right? Pop it once. I'm at the depth I want. Pop it. Boom. Pop it. Right? Now it darts. Boom. Darts. Boom. Left to right. That's where we are. We're darting left, right, left, right, right? So that lure is sitting in the middle and it's darting, darting, darting. Boom, boom. That's it. That's the action we want, right? So we can. Now it shoots off into the water column and then it just comes back into place. Again, most of your strikes are gonna come when after it darts and it's on that momentary pause. All right, you don't have to leave it there for an hour. You just gotta leave it there for a nice pause. You know, give it a 2 count or something. Maybe if that helps you. All right, I'm at depth, pop it in. I'm at depth, popped it. Boom, boom. Pop it twice, you know, change your cadence up. I like to always start slow with all my lures, and I have a pretty good reason. Okay, so fish could be in a feisty mood or they could be in a sluggish mood. All right, you don't know. You know you don't know how they're feeling because you know we're not fish. So what working your bait slow does for you is it allows you to catch the sluggish fish by leaving that bait in its area where its strike zone a little longer, right? But if a fish is aggressive, working it slow does nothing but leave it in that area longer for it to hit. So you have the ability to catch both of those fish, an aggressive fish and a sluggish fish, by working it slow. Now, if you find that they're liking it a little bit faster, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. That just means that you can start moving your way to the right and working it a little bit faster. That's all you have to do. But if you start off fast, you have no opportunity to catch a fish that was in your area that was sluggish, that was just not filling up to feeding that day. You have no chance at it. So working it slow just provides you that opportunity. And that's what these baits do. These suspended twitch baits are all about opportunity, all about being methodical in an area. Well guys, that's it. Those are my 3 favorites. They don't have to be your favorites. I picked them because I use them a lot. You should always pick a bait because you're confident in it, because you trust it. If you have confidence in your bait, it's gonna be more successful. Because if you spend time working one bait, learning how to work that bait, you're gonna get better at it. And the better you get at it, the more fish you're gonna catch. So all these things come down to. I hope I was able to teach you something, or maybe make this a little easier. I know that sometimes these twitch baits, paddle tails, top waters, you know, come at you a million different directions. Keep it simple, keep it easy, and I think you'll be a little bit more successful. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it's short enough for y'all. Leave me a comment and tell me what y'all thought. Tell me what you'd like to see. Tell me what you like to use on your twitch baits. As always, subscribe to my channel. We got a couple more of these videos that we're gonna do next. Next will be the soft plastics, which, you know, probably the most effective bait that you can ever use. We're gonna be doing that one next. But hit me up if y'all want to go fishing or anything like that. Or if you ever want to have any questions, let me know.